Hey everybody, I have some brain candy for you all. And by brain candy, I mean it's not really nutritious, just like candy isn't, but it hits a sweet spot that makes you go, ah, that's awesome. So it's about what fantasy creature human beings are most like. And I'm amazed that I've never thought of this before or heard of it before. And maybe somebody else out there has said it, but not that I'm aware of. And yeah, it's a creature that's been around for, well, ever since I've been a kid, obviously, and at least probably since, yeah, actually, no, it's been around since at least the 1600s, I believe. I mean, it's talked about in the book Don Quixote. Um, and if anybody's ever read it, you might understand what I meant by that reference for there. Um, and it's really strange because it's a powerful creature, and it's a dragon. Yeah, people are like dragons, completely like dragons. Because what do you think of when you think of a dragon? You know, people think of breathing fire, being large and powerful creatures. Well, definitely people do have a can, not all the time, but breathe fire, especially at one another. They will be caustic and say horrific things to one another, and not out of love, but out of hate and spite, because they disagree with somebody, and it's more than a disagreement. It's some sort of crazy weird ideology, and people do it all the time. I'm even, of course, myself. I've done it too. I mean, because nobody's perfect. No one ever in the history of time. It just hasn't happened. We all have our flaws. Everybody has flaws, but that's what makes us people. It makes us human, and makes us just like dragons. Because dragons also change their environment around them for what they want it to, no matter what it is, in major changes. As in books, when you go to where a dragon is, they have completely changed their landscape around them so that it's what they want. Kind of like people. We do the same thing. Human beings change the landscape around them so that we can live in it more comfortably and easier. And it's not a good or bad thing, it's just what happens. And another aspect of it that people probably didn't think of, or maybe they thought of it the first thing, is dragons like to hoard precious things, like gold and money and other strange acquirements. We all do it. Everybody. We all hoard our precious things. Whatever we find precious to us, we hoard it. Anybody that says they don't probably is not correct. It's very, very difficult for us not to hoard something. And it might not even be a physical, tangible thing. We will hoard knowledge as well. So that's another aspect of it. We will hoard knowledge, and there are stories of dragons hoarding knowledge because it's precious. So it's always not just tangible things that we hoard. So that's the other reason why I think people and dragons are so similar. I mean, they are, yes, granted, they're giant scaly lizards that breathe fire, and humans aren't scaly little lizards, unless you go off on a weird tangent and talk about the Anunnaki and all of that. And if you're curious about that, you can do your own deep dive. I'm not going into that. There are stories in the Dragonlance books about a draconian people. I believe that's how it is. They're like human-esque dragon hybrids. So maybe they kind of had the idea that people are dragons. But I just wanted everybody to have that for that little bit of brain candy. And now here's a little bit of other regular knowledge. We all have power just like dragons do in our voice. And when people try to stop you from speaking your power, your voice, whether they agree with it or not, is a way that they take your power away and take it for themselves. When we silence other people because we disagree with what they have to say, instead of having discussions about it, not arguments, because arguments no one wins. If you've read books about what an argument actually is and not a discussion, they're two totally different things. People get very heated and horrific to each other when they have arguments. They're not civil. Arguments are never civil. Discussions are always civil. Disagreements can be civil, and they can have a very good discussion with other people, which is what we should all be doing, and not losing the power of our voice. We should all be coming together with our power of our voices and standing together with our power to affect the change that we want around us, and not using anger and hatred as power. That doesn't help anyone. But I really thought that that was a huge thing for myself, thinking that, wow, we are totally dragons, and that our voice is our power. Just like a dragon's voice, their breath is their power that people think of. And don't let anybody take it away from you. Don't give it away. Don't let someone say, well, you can't say those things or you can't have those thoughts and ideas because they're stealing your power. Don't lose it. We only have it, and without the voice of your power, we're nothing, because it's one of the few things that makes all people people and stand on equal footing. Is that some of us have stronger powerful voices than others, but we all have it. Don't just give it away. Don't lose it. Everybody speak your own truth. Sometimes we don't always agree with it, but it's out there, all right? Much love to everybody, and yes, we are like dragons. All right? There's a little bit of brain candy for you guys. Love you all. Bye.